Welcome everyone to the official press conference ahead of the Leagues Cup 2025 match between Portland Timbers and Querétaro, scheduled for August 2nd at Providence Park. We will now welcome Portland Timbers head coach Phil Neville.
We'll open up to questions in the room. Jeremy?
I'll take it. What has been the message to the team ahead of this game, knowing that a couple of games yesterday has caused you to fall off the top spot in the Leagues Cup table?
Yeah, we've got to score some goals. We've got to go for it. It's a cup competition. I think we knew that there was going to be MLS teams that was going to fight back, and they were going to get some wins, and so that's what happened last night. I think the second and third games will be really interesting, particularly the second game, because I think what you'll see is probably another fight back from Mexican sides. The qualities of a Mexican side is they never give in, they never quit, they win at all costs, they find ways to win, and they're probably the first game was an adaptation for them. They played last weekend, they had that long flight, probably the first game was difficult for them. So I think that's what makes this competition so good, is that after our victory in the first game, I thought, maybe 7 points could get us through. After last night, I thought we were going to get to 8, 9 points again. So it's go for it mentality.
And then continuing with just your selection dilemmas ahead of this game, just Jim Rafori has been playing at left center back for the past couple of games. How have you been rating his performances?
I think he's been outstanding. I really think that he could be an outstanding centre-back eventually. And I've been really pleased with the way that he's played. Him and Ian Smith are getting a real good understanding on that side. So really pleased with Jimmer. I think when we signed him, we thought we had a little bit of a nugget, and I think everything we've seen so far has backed us on that. And pleased with his attitude, pleased with his development, pleased with the way that his concentration levels have improved. And he's a really, really top-class defender.
How's David DaCosta doing? I know you said post-game there was no significant damage, but will he be available for tomorrow's match? And Dario Supric as well, coming back from that hip.
Supric definitely back involved. There's a good chance that Dario will start tomorrow because he needs to get some minutes again. David, you saw him out on the field today. Quick recovery from what we saw on Wednesday night. So there's a slight chance we get him onto the pitch for some minutes, but that's something that we're going to speak about after training. We've got a couple of players coming out of the game on Wednesday night with fatigue, and we've got to manage the next 3 games of the next week. And I've got a squad that's full of confidence, a squad that's full of belief, and I've got to trust every one of them to play tomorrow night. We've got Noah Santos in the squad tomorrow as well, which I think is another real positive. I think the kid's going to be a really good player.
Phil, this is a bit open-ended, but in your near 2 years here, do you have a favorite Diego Chara story?
There's been a lot. There's been a lot of really nice moments. I think probably the best moments are those moments away from the camera. The moments when you see the true test of a person, of a character, of a legend within the club. I think I noticed in the first month how the whole club worships him, from top to bottom. The whole club worships him. The whole club thinks so highly of him, and I make examples of him all the time in terms of that is earned, that trust, that belief, that respect is earned through behaviours. We've got a lot of young players in the team at this moment in time, and I make the example of, if you want a figurehead of how to, or an example of how to behave every single day. I came in the gym this morning before we had a meeting at 9:05. He's in the gym. When you go into the gym now after training, he's the first in the gym. When he goes to get his lunch, and Rich and Clay are behind serving, the please, the thank you, the respect he shows everybody in this club is phenomenal. And the first time I broached maybe leaving him out the team or resting him, I remember the whole of the room just went silent. You just cannot believe Diego out. There is definitely that aura about him. And when I had my first conversation about his plan, his resting, his reduced minutes at times, you wonder how you wonder how that legend is going to take it, and he just takes everything with class and humility. And I'd say that there is probably, without there being an outstanding moment, I'd say there are 1,000 incredible moments that you have with Diego Chara, and those moments probably sum him up. It's the little moments that make Diego Chara, not the big moments.
I know he's played a little bit older into his career than when you retired, but how did you adjust to that as a player, going from being a guy who a starter, a captain, to
difficult. And Diego's, I think, coming back from the injury, he's found it difficult. The one, sort of like the amount of time it took him to come back from the injury is Mother Nature. Not, you're not 21, and then getting back up to speed has probably took maybe 7-8 days longer. But I think what we're doing with him at this moment in time, we're managing his training program, we're modifying at times and pushing him at other times, and I spoke to him this morning about his minutes tomorrow might be reduced, but his minutes on Wednesday might be high. So you work back from that. I played with a player called Ryan Giggs who played till he was 42. My brother played till he was 37. Scholes played till he was 38. Great examples of players that played further into the career, and what you've got to do, you've got to make sure that the match day you're at your absolute freshest, and you work back from there. And that's what we're doing. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, when he was not feeling great, we spoke. I said, right, match days become your most important, because he wants to be out there every single minute of every day, because he's the captain, he's the leader, he's the driving force, and sometimes you just got to miss a drill or miss a session. And I think we've got him to a really good place where he produces performance like he did on Wednesday night.
Phil, you mentioned Noah Santos. You were also able to give Danny Nunez some minutes on Wednesday. What's the most rewarding part of bringing those academy players through? Does it remind you of when you broke through at Manchester United, or is it the affirmation of your club's stated goals of developing youth, or something else?
Yeah, I think I look back at moments when I was actually thinking about it the other day. I think it was when the Lionesses won against Spain. Chloe Kelly scores the winning penalty in both the last Euros, and I remember stood on the touchline with her in Austria away when she was like 17, and literally she was shaking, and you remember, you look at her now and look at how, and you think to yourself, those are the moments when you stood on the touchline with Adolfo, Sawyer, or Nunez the other night. My first thought when I was stood next to Nunez the other night was, I thought he's too young to go on. He looked like a little baby compared to the big Mexicans. So those are the moments that I love. That feeling when you stood on a touchline, you're saying, right, your life is going to change now, and go and grasp it, go and thrive, go and take this opportunity. That for me is the most rewarding aspect of coaching. And I'd say that in my coaching career, the bringing in the youth and playing youth at both, Inter Miami, Kramashi, Ruiz, Ian Frey, Noah Allen. These are what I leave clubs and think, that I played a little small part in someone's development, and hopefully tomorrow Noah Santos gets on the field and he can go out and play, and we give him the platform and trust and belief to go and play to a high level. And when you play the young kids, what happens is that you come back into the building the next day, and Serge and Russo and Steve Reese and Darren, the under-18s, and Fernando, the under, they come into work bouncing, because they've played a bigger part in their journey, So it's the reward throughout the club. It's when the under-16s coach Fernando or Darren, the under-18s coach, can go and say, right, who's going to be the next one that's going to be the next one that the boss puts on the field, and that for me is what football's all about.
Good morning, Phil.
Morning.
Talking about the technical and the pace aspect of it, what's the biggest difference when playing MLS clubs compared to Liga MX clubs?
There's a big tactical difference, without a shadow of a doubt. I think there are probably clear identities in the MLS and clear structures. With the Mexican teams, I do feel it's chaotic, a little bit more chaotic in terms of their rotations and their systems, and you have to really, really be in a real good organisation to deal with those. And then there's the physical aspect of the fact that they are quick, they're strong, they're adaptable, they're flexible, and they're all top class players. And that's what I love about this competition. You're testing yourself against the best players from another league.
We will now shift over to Zoom questions. Aaron, go ahead, please.
Hey, Coach.
How you doing?
Just a quick question about the back three and kind of how that came about with Jimmer or Dario and Kamal in the middle and then on the right. Just 1 goal in the last 3 games conceded. It looks really, really solid. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think, you know, people are making a big thing about the back three. It's really a back four, because, you know, we push one wing back on and then we've got a back four. We push Ian Smith on. It's really a back four, really. But what it enables you to do is when you get to low block defending, you've got an extra player in there. There's a real chain in terms of the central combinations and the structure. And I'd say that this moment in time, with the players we've got available, it's the best system to play without a shadow of a doubt. And we've been flexible from pre-season day one with 3-4-3, 3-5-2 to 4-2-3-1. And I think that's got to be the way. Well, it is the way that football's going. Football is now an interchangeable, adaptable, flowing system, and no team plays the same system at the start of the game through to the end of the game. And I think we've got a set of players now that are understanding many aspects of different systems. And the Minnesota game, the New England game, the LAFC game, the game on Wednesday night against Chara, I think are a great example how we are developing in this system.
Thank you for participating.